Hello, I'm Abir Mukherjee, and my topic is on the creation of a course for professionals on software test automation. This presentation is for Milestone 2. The agenda for today is first, I will give a quick summary of what the project is. I will then present a brief discussion of the feedback I received from Milestone 1. I did a survey, so I'll talk about what it is, why I did it, and present my findings. Finally, and perhaps the most important aspect of this milestone is where I'm at and what's remaining. I'm doing the content track, and here I am creating a course that teaches how to write software automation tests. The automated tests are to test functions and methods, so it's not testing web UI elements, but more of functions or methods that perform complex procedures. I have the link to the course also. I still need to upload the content, but all the topics are there. I received some feedback from our peer review system after Milestone 1, and I just wanted to share some of those because they did influence some of my decisions going forward. The first was a suggestion to add CAPTCHA. At the moment, I don't have it because the course is completely open, but I still may do this if I have time. I had also mentioned in Milestone 1 that I was having trouble figuring out how to get an autograder to work on the coding assignments. One of my peers advised me not to go the autograder route because it's not straightforward and it could be a major time sink. Coincidentally, my mentor gave me feedback and said I can do everything with Jupyter Notebook for the coding aspects. So I decided to make my life simpler and go that route. So lastly, I'd like to say I got a lot of supportive feedback, very positive and very helpful feedback. So I thank my mentor and all of my peers for all your advice. In my last milestone, I mentioned that I was having trouble coming up with ideas on how to do the assessments. So I did a survey to see what my peers thought would be useful. I also asked about everyone's thoughts about video lectures and appropriate lengths for those videos. It was very insightful. An average of 3 on a Likert scale would be, on the balance, neutral. So if you look at the mean column, you can see that respondents pretty much agreed with each question. Because of that, I calculated the standard deviation. That would show which ones had more varying responses. The multiple choice questions seem to be the least favorite method as it has the lowest mean. It also had the highest standard deviation. I wanted to see where this high spread is and if the low mean was being dragged down by outliers on the left. Apparently, the negative skew does show it skewed left, which is actually expected, as a 5 is the upper cutoff, so it would be expected that it would be skewed to the left. But the skew is not that high relative to the other questions. So I would say with these measures, it is evident that among the assessment choices, multiple choice quizzes is not really effective. Based on this survey, I won't be so adamant about adding quizzes to every topic. One other insight is that the real-time feedback is important. That seemed consistent with the data above, which shows problem sets are slightly better than projects. You get faster feedback on shorter problem sets than you would on a longer project, and that you can tell is slightly larger. But yes, I would need to do a t-test to confirm that because you can see they're very close and the standard deviations are actually pretty close too. But for my needs, the descriptive statistics are sufficient, I guess, for what I need. The t-test would probably show that there's no difference between opinions on projects and problem sets. Anyway, all in all, the survey results were very insightful, and I thank all my peers for doing the survey. I copied the topics from my task list from the proposal, as it's easier to see what topics I've done and what's left. The boxes in gray are the completed items, and I've already recorded the videos on my Mac using QuickTime. I haven't uploaded them to the course website yet, as I still need to get them uploaded to a video hosting site and then link them in the individual topics. So far, on the course website, all the topics have been created, so it's a matter of linking the material. I've completed some of the problem sets, but started encountering some issues when Jupyter Notebook gets too large and you have too many functions. As PyTest tests functions, um, that becomes sort of an issue because the Jupyter Notebook remembers every single function you've created, and you'll have to restart the kernel if you make some changes, and otherwise you might encounter some strange issues. So if that becomes too difficult to resolve, then I'll come up with another solution. And the reason why that's a problem is because for me, I would have no trouble fixing it. But for someone who's learning, it may be too cumbersome if they're encountering issues and they don't realize that they need to restart the kernel if they make changes to function names and method names. Uh, PyTest uses um, sort of a test discovery, and that's based upon the name of the functions. So that's rather important. So on the next slide, I'll show a demonstration of how I set up the course website. In the last milestone, I had just shown a preview of the website, but this time I just wanted to show the WordPress dashboard. I had shown a preview of my course website. This time I want to show how I set it up and what I use to set it up. So I bought my own domain, edtechproj. This is the WordPress site. So if I go to the dashboard, you can see the usual WordPress dashboard. This is the plugin I use, Learn-LMS. Here you can see I can create courses, lessons within courses, and topics within lessons, quizzes also. So if I go to courses, this is one that I created. So here I can edit. I'm using the builder because it's quicker, but if I click on builder, you can see all the topics that I created. So this is just a quick demonstration of how I set up my course. So I did start populating some items. I still need to upload those, as I had mentioned before. I am happy to take any questions, or if you have any comments or feedback. I don't have any request for any specific feedback, but if you have anything, that will be very well received. And this concludes my presentation.